Hi guys. Look how beautiful it is out here right now. I'm gonna see if I can get over here. Maybe over here set up for this video. Look at this log coming up out of the ground. The tree's kind of still in there. Look at this spot. Let me see. I can sit here on this log. Looks like we have good privacy here. Hello, beautiful log. Let me see. Okay guys, since I moved to the apartment, I'm having the hardest time finding space and time to record my videos. But there's a little space here. My glasses just fell down. I always wear my glasses on my head when I'm out here. My eyesight's really strange. I can't see things very well far away, but then I can't see things super close either. I can't read very well close up. And these are for seeing things far away. But when I'm outside, I feel like I'm behind a glass when I have them on. I really like to touch and feel and to really come alive outside and really be present. In this video, I wanted to talk about 3 boundaries that you probably don't even realize you need. Most of the time when we think about boundaries, we think about something that we need to have in place in order, like with other people, which is true. But there are boundaries sometimes that we don't think about that we need just within ourselves and around ourselves that may not have a lot to do, still have something to do with other people, but not necessarily with taking a stand with other people or making sure other people honor and respect your boundaries. Sometimes it's about you honoring and respecting yourself. And so I want to talk about 3 different boundaries that I have found that are really necessary to really lighten up your load, to really get that into that space of bold confidence, and to feel like you're crafting your life your way and not just a victim of your life. So the first one is about things that you feel like you have to do, having boundaries about what you feel like you have to do. And so we don't realize that we live our lives under a set of unspoken rules, maybe things we picked up in childhood or by society or just things that made sense to us at one point, and we just live by these rules, these unwritten rules, sometimes unspoken rules, and sometimes they don't always serve us. Sometimes they help us, but sometimes they don't. And so I have learned that I need to have a boundary about what the things that I have to do and the things that I really don't have to do. And so I'm going to share with you and encourage you to make a list of things that you don't have to do, and to keep an ongoing list of things that you don't have to do. And it's fun. It's fun because you'll be doing something and all of a sudden you realize, I really don't have to do it this way. I don't know why I've been doing it doing life this way this whole time. You'll realize that you don't really need this rule or to need to live by this rule. And when I find one, it feels so freeing. So for example, I wrote a list on my notes here of things that are on my list. And one of them is something I just, recently realized that I was living under, is that I had to have the dishwasher completely full before I could run the dishwasher. Again, these are unwritten rules, kind of something that they're a little bit more covert. They're not something we're really thinking about. We're living by this rule. So I've realized that sometimes I want the dishes to be clean in the morning, sometimes the dishwasher is not all the way full. It's like 3/4 full or even half full. and I'm looking to find it something to fill it with. And then I was thinking I can't run the dishwasher unless it's full because it's wasteful. And I realized I don't have to live by that rule. I can run the dishwasher. Sorry, I've had a little bit of a cold I'm just getting over, so hopefully I'm not going to start coughing on you. Hold on. I put a cough drop in my mouth, and I'm just going to read some other things I have on my list here about. These aren't all of them. This isn't exhaustive. And I would encourage you to keep a list, an ongoing list, and then reread it every once in a while. But add to it as you think of things. I don't have to eat everything on my plate. I don't have to eat my dessert last. I've done that. I've decided, I want to eat my dessert first. And my reasoning around that for myself was, you eat your meal and knowing you're going to, in anticipation of a dessert, not always, but sometimes you have a dessert and you think, oh, I'm going to have something afterwards. Like that's a rule, an unwritten rule maybe we grew up with or whatever. And then you're full, and then you're eating on top of a full stomach. So if it's a dessert that I really, really love and really, really want, and it actually sounds better than dinner, sometimes I'll eat the dessert first and then let my dinner or my meal be, what's left over room in my stomach so I don't overstuff myself. That was my reasoning behind it. But I realized I don't have to eat my dessert last. So start your list with I don't have to, I don't have to, I don't have to. Okay? I don't have to save my leftovers. I always thought I needed to save all my leftovers, and I felt guilty if I left perfectly good leftovers, and then half the time they sit in the refrigerator and never get eaten. So if I know now that this probably won't get eaten up, I just dump it, and without the guilt, right? I dump the guilt too. I don't have to go to the gym or use a video to work out. I don't have to do sit-ups, and I don't have to do repetitions. I don't have to have a set amount of time to work out. So I don't have to work out for at least 20 minutes. I can work out for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is better than nothing, right? I really don't have to work out at all, but these are just rules around working out that I had, that kind of hindered me. Because I find sometimes these rules aren't serving me because they're actually keeping me from doing what I want to do, because all these rules, if I don't have all my ducks in a row with the rules, then I just don't do it. I put it off and procrastinate. So sometimes like just realizing and having some bold audacity around these things can really be helpful in really reclaiming your authority over your life. I don't have to live in a house. That's a big one for me. Like, we don't have to live in houses. We don't have to let success be money, right? Success doesn't have to equal money. We don't have to drive a car. I don't have to drive a car. I don't have to be a Christian. That was a big one for me. I don't have to be a Christian. I can believe in God the way I believe in God, and I don't have to label it under some kind of Christian or any religion, really. I don't have to be. I don't have to wear makeup. And if I do wear makeup, I don't have to do all my makeup. I can just put mascara on if that's all I feel like putting on, or lip gloss. I don't have to travel anywhere ever to have a fulfilling life. Yeah, it would be nice to travel to some places, but I don't have to do that in order to feel fulfilled in life, or in order to feel like I've lived an exciting and fun life. I don't have to travel and go new places. That's exciting to know. This one was a good one for me, and that is, I don't have to wait for my birthday or another special occasion to celebrate myself or to gift myself something special. How many of us wait? Oh, and then our birthday comes and it's like, now I get to do this and I get to do that. And yeah, I don't have to prove to others that I genuinely love and that I'm a good person. So I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to prove my goodness to anybody. I don't have to, this is the last one I have on here right now, but I don't have to separate my laundry. That was a big one for me. I learned that laundry doesn't necessarily have to be separated into delicates and darks and lights. You can just throw it all in there together for the most part. Most clothes don't bleed out. If it's something brand new and it's like bright red, I'd be careful with that. But I don't really, I throw all my laundry together most of the time now. It's so much easier because I just throw a load in every day. And it really hasn't made any difference. I make sure it's on warm water because I learned that soap needs warm water to activate it. So when you do a water and a load in cold wash. I know there's laundry soaps that say it's for cold wash or whatever, but who wants to buy laundry soap for every temperature, right? So once you know that most things can be washed, and if I have something that's super, super, super delicate and just cannot be with other clothes, then I just hand wash it. So, and it's really not that big a deal because I really don't have much that's like that anyways. But that's my rule. That might not be yours. That's mine. And the third and last one is the boundary to the past. A lot of us don't think about that we need a boundary with the past. So we can really start allowing, past things that happened to us, past conversations that we had, maybe an argument we had that wasn't really fully resolved, maybe things that happened to us as a child. All those things can just come into our present and ruin a perfectly good day. And we need to have boundaries with that. And I was thinking how Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind would say, she said a few times, she said, I'll think about that tomorrow. And I that's something that I adopted that has helped me so much to just, when I have something that is a trouble on my mind, that's from my past, that I have no control over right now, and I can't figure out or integrate it, I say to myself, I'll think about that tomorrow. Now, if it's something that you do need to work out and integrate and maybe talk about or process, journal about, cry over, whatever, go through the processes of that. If it is something like that, then I would suggest planning a time in a day that you'll do that, giving yourself space, say like Saturday, I'll have some alone time, or I'll make some alone time, or I'll make some space. I'll tell my family I'm going to make some space for myself this day for 2 hours, and I'm going to sit down and deal with this. Or whatever. You can make that space and time for what needs to be dealt with. Otherwise, you can say, when these thoughts start coming, you put a boundary up and say, I'll think about that tomorrow. We can have boundaries with the past. We don't have to let the past into our present moment and ruin our perfectly good day. I said that last time that was the last boundary that I realized. Oh no, that was the second boundary. The third boundary is boundaries around other people's issues and dramas. I've been the type of person that has been I'm a peacemaker. I'm a middle child, which if you know anything about middle children, they can tend to be peacemakers and want to make sure everybody's happy and at peace. And I have lived my life worrying about how people feel and feeling pain in my heart for every little situation that happens and with anybody or any animal or any situation, to the point where I lived so much of my life in a lot of emotional pain. And so I've had to learn to put boundaries around that, and boundaries around other people's dramas and issues, and realize I'm not here to save the world. I'm not here to be a peacemaker. I'm not here to make anybody else's lives better. I may at times, and thank God that we can do things to help lighten loads and such, but we do need boundaries around that. We need to know when something is ours and when it's not ours to take care of. And usually, if it's not ours, it's not ours, period. Even if it's a friend's or if it's a spouse's, it doesn't matter what drama or what issue come up. It isn't our responsibility to make them feel better or to teach them how to handle it right or to help them how to handle it right or to any of it. And there's a proverb in the Bible that I often think about, and it says that he that passes by and meddles with strife that doesn't belong to him is like someone that takes the dog by the ears. So let me translate. A person that passes by and notices there's strife going on and gets involved in it is like a person who grabs a dog by the ears. What happens when you grab a dog by ears? You're going to get bit, right? You're going to get bit. And I cannot tell you how many times I have taken the dog by the ears. I have gotten involved in something because I felt like, I could give wisdom, or I wanted to help them feel better, or felt like it was, I didn't have a boundary up. I didn't realize I needed a boundary up around that. And then I get hurt in the process of it. And sometimes worse than the people that are involved in it. So we need to have boundaries. And one of the things I do with that is I tell myself often when I feel myself like the compassion going out, oh, I hear somebody sick and I feel like I got to run and make them a meal, or, go buy them an herbal tea or something to help them get better, or give them advice. I have to pull myself back and think, that's not my responsibility. They're not my children. They're big people. They know how to take care of themselves. They've been taking care of themselves their whole lives. This is their, and it's not my responsibility. And I'll do it to the detriment of myself if I'm not careful. I will spend money I don't have. I will, take time and then wear myself out taking care of people. So I have definitely had to draw huge boundaries around this one. So just some of the things that I wrote here to consider in that is, like, you hear your friend broke up with her partner and you run to talk to her, console her. Or you hear somebody's sick, like I was saying, and you start planning a meal or to take care of them. Or your spouse comes home grumpy and not themselves, and you start questioning them and trying to cheer them up, like it's your responsibility to make them feel better, right? Or you have two family members that are having a disagreement and you're trying to step in and you get in the middle of it, trying to help them resolve it. These are things, none of these things are our business. They are their business. And we need a boundary with ourselves to say, I don't have the time. If I'm prioritizing, this is about prioritizing yourself. If you're prioritizing yourself and your needs, you're not even going to have time for all this. So here's a mindset shift. Not every problem needs your involvement. So when someone comes to you with an issue, ask yourself, is this mine to fix, or is this something that they need to handle on their own? This boundary doesn't make you selfish. It makes you wise. Prioritizing your own peace and well-being means you have less time for unnecessary drama. And when you focus on yourself, you're able to show up more authentically for others when it does truly matter. When you're focusing on yourself, then you do have the energy and the time when something does matter and does need time and space from you. You're not already just worn out because you've been putting fires out all over the place that you didn't necessarily need to try to put out. So to quickly recap, there's 3 boundaries that you might not have known that you need in your life. One is around what you have to do. Question that. Do I really have to do this? Sometimes you can ask yourself, can it be delegated? Can it be eliminated? Can it be put off for a little bit if you're not able to do it at the moment? Or do I have to do it at all? So a boundary around the past, letting the past come in, flood your mind, and harass you all day long and ruin a perfectly good day. You need a boundary around that. And a boundary around other people's issues. Is this my problem? Or is it something that is their problem and I need to let go and let them deal with it? These boundaries aren't about shutting people out or being rigid. They're about protecting your peace, reclaiming your time, and creating the life you deserve. When you put these boundaries in place, you'll feel lighter, more confident, and more in control of your life. Remember, boundaries are an act of self-love. They are not about keeping others out. They're about keeping your energy and your focus where they belong. Now that you know about these boundaries, I want to help you take it a step further. I've created a free PDF called Say No Like a Queen, and it is packed with empowering ways to say no with confidence and grace. You can download it using the link in the description below. Also, let me know in the comments which of these boundaries resonated most with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your stories. And if you're ready to dive deeper into your personal growth journey, check out my 8-week self-love course designed to help you rediscover yourself and step into your queendom. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who could use a little more peace and empowerment in their life. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.